Mercy. What is mercy? As I think about, I don't think about mercy just as mercy, a definition of mercy that is good for one time, for all times, I should say, and for all places. Mercy can be contextualized. And when I think about this class and I think about mercy, I think about it this way. Now, maybe this helps you, maybe it doesn't. Mercy, could it be that mercy is doing what needs to be done in a way that helps the other person maintain their dignity? I love musicals. My wife and I love musicals, but in truth, I love them more than she does. But she likes animal movies, and I just don't get into them at all. In any event, one of my favorite musicals is Rent. And there is this song in Rent. Rent was written and performed originally at kind of the opening stages of the HIV/AIDS crisis, right? And these folks are in a support group, an AIDS support group, and they begin singing musicals. It's what they do, right? And the song is, "Will I Lose My Dignity?" Wow. Death is not something that is kind to any of us. And in some ways, dignity is lost with every bit of life that slips away. Mercy, within this context, could it be that mercy is is doing what needs to be done, helping the other in a way that helps them maintain their dignity? So, can I help in a way, this is my question to myself, can I help in a way that robs someone of their dignity? Helping, mercy, is related to this idea, it seems to me, is related to this idea that Fowler talked about so well on compassion, suffering with another, being with them, being present in the moment. Can I show mercy in a way that preserves and protects the dignity of others? I think what I do as a teacher and as a college administrator, that's few are the times when I'm called on to be that person, to give mercy in that way. But I think of folks that are like hospice nursing. They're the front lines of trying to protect people's dignity. And can I do that in a way? Can I show mercy in a way that protects, preserves, even perpetuates, even in the dying moments, perpetuates somebody's dignity as a fellow traveler in the game of life, right? Well, this is very much related to what mercy is in the Old Testament. The Hebrew word mercy is chesed. It's a het. It has that guttural sound there. E-S-E-D. Chesed. And chesed has it's very commonly translated mercy, but in some ways mercy, scholars will tell you mercy is an incomplete kind of translation because chesed has this kind of global view of something in mind. It is wholeness. It is loving kindness. Mercy is that kind of long suffering, right? That you are with somebody in the moment. Chesed, mercy, is loyalty, especially covenant loyalty. So when God has mercy, God, I think this is kind of the dominant idea, though it's hard to translate this out, so we've got to have some word, or our Bibles would be this big, right? God exercises loyalty to the covenant by being loyal to the individual, and because God has this little thing called perfection, right? And I don't. His loyalty to me is to help me, to encourage me, to have mercy on me when my tendency is to not always have my best in mind, we do have, and this is not a confession time, right? But we all know that there are things that we do sometimes that are maybe a little bit, maybe a lot, self-destructive. God encounters, or counters, maybe I should say, those destructive tendencies. God's mercy is committed then to developing my good as the object of that mercy. So I wonder, is healthcare a way of looking at developing mercy with and for the other? For people of faith, if God is committed to those things, how can we not be committed to those things? But even if someone is not a person of faith, it seems to me that mercy, loyalty, fidelity to one another is part and parcel of what it means to live the good life, the life for the good, the life for others, that life that gives definition and meaning and hopefulness, because it's not rooted in me, but it's rooted in our common humanity. So mercy, when the text tells us that God is going to have mercy, in verse 50, his mercy is for those who fear him from generation to generation. And we find, if we unpack this, that there's a very openness to who is, what it means to fear God and who fears God. But then as we go on down in the text, in verse 54, he has helped his servant Israel. Notice Mary was the servant, now Israel is the servant, in remembrance of his mercy, or remembrance of his covenant loyalty. What does it mean to help them? What does it mean to give someone dignity? What does it mean to return to someone, even in suffering, the dignity that they should have as an individual? This text seems to me speaks to that in very definite ways. And I again, I'm not an RN, but if I were, I think the registered nurse, or one who wants to be, those people in healthcare that work in these helping professions can add a real wholeness to my understanding of mercy, simply by entering into the conversation and the interpretation of the text with us who work on these texts day in and day out. So thanks very much. That was mercy. We'll talk in a moment about the lifting up and putting down, and I've got some ideas there, and I look forward to what you think about.